guys, Victor here with Worldwide Corals again. Today we're in one of our customers' house. His name is Spencer. Spencer, we met you, what, 2-3 years ago? Mm-hmm. And your tank at the time was a 180?
It was a 160. It wasn't a custom made. It had a very short stand, and I was about to actually leave out of the hobby because I was struggling. I had fish dying. I wanted to get in corals, but I had no way how to do. I didn't know how to do it or where even to start. And then one day, I just actually drove to Worldwide Corals and filled out a service client thing. And then Matt, our service guy, has been our service guy since for about 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, I was talking to him earlier. Matter of fact, I was asking him about that watermelon. How long you guys been growing it? He says it's from the old tank. Mm-hmm. It's actually encrusted into the rock. I'm so impressed. It's one of my favorite corals always.
We were actually able to bring that encrusted from the other tank. It was one of the hard ones to bring. I was questioning whether I was going to keep it or not because I was afraid it was going to break off, but it actually transferred perfectly into the new tank.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about the tank. What are the dimensions of the tank?
This tank is a 300-gallon, 350-gallon total, including the sump. It's 6 feet by, I believe, 26 inches by 30 inches tall.
I love the dimensions. I love how much fish you have in there. I'm not a fish guy. I mean, obviously I like fish, but I've never been my priority. My priority has always been corals, as you guys know. So tell me a little bit about the fish. I see you got a diamond pyramid butterfly right there.
Well, I'm a big tang guy, so I have 3 tangs. I have
what are they?
I have a blue tang, a dory. I mean, I wish my koi tang would come out. I got him from Marine Collectors. He had to send me a picture from when the diver caught it and decided to decide on the spot if I wanted it or not. And there he is. He's coming out right now.
Where is he?
Yeah, his name is Draco. We have a lot of Harry Potter named. Our Tomini tang is named Voldemort. But it's grown into one of my favorites. It's got a big personality.
I love them. It's always one of my favorite fish. They're inexpensive. They're hardy. They got beautiful colors, you know. They're constantly picking at the algae. They're great workers, you know.
He's about 2.5 years old now, so he's fat and healthy. So I got a pair of Bellis angelfish, which are, of course, fighting right now as I mentioned them. And I really like them. The male is actually really hard to get.
Yeah.
And then my pyramid butterfly is definitely one of my most active fish in here. He is running back and forth, and even at nighttime, you can see him swimming around.
Is he picking at anything?
No issues whatsoever.
Cool. And I heard a little story about these triggers. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
Yeah, so we have 2 blue throat triggers. We got a male and a female, and then that one, actually over here, it turned into a male, which I did not know they could do that.
Oh, wow.
And so one of my favorite over here is, you see on the algae?
Sunburst.
Sunburst, yes. That one has been about 2 years old.
They're tough to keep.
I haven't had any issues. That's what I've read, but it's actually gotten kind of aggressive with my with my Borbonius. So
where's the Borbonius? Oh, they
right over here. So he waits at the top of the tank all day to be fed.
You would think the Borbonius will be more aggressive because it's a much bigger fish.
No,
you know?
the Borbonius, it beat it up so badly that I thought it was going to pass, but it survived, and since then it's been perfectly fine.
Oh, wow, interesting. You have no idea. The sunburst Antias has got to be one of my favorite Antias, you know? They're gorgeous.
And some of my other favorite fish, like my leopard wrasse that's swimming by right here, beautiful fish. It's one of the fattest fish in the tank. It eats everything from seaweed to... I put a lot of pods in this tank, so it is constantly eating.
Any other fish in here that we haven't mentioned? I see you got those parrot clowns. They're incredible. One of the nicest ones I ever seen. No joke. Where do you get those from?
I believe I got one from Marine Collectors and one from TSM Aquatics.
Okay.
And the female we named Kim, after Kim Kardashian.
All right.
And she's had 3 different partners over the years, and so her latest partner is named Pete Davidson.
All right.
Previously it was Kanye.
All right. So,
but they are very happy. They're actually nesting. They're not out right now on top of the rocks, but they are actively laying eggs right now.
Well, as you know, I'm a coral guy, and I can't help it but to see all these beautiful corals that you have here. I see you got the banana grilled torch. You got original bounce mushroom. I forgot the name of this bounce mushroom. I got it from Jason Fox back in the day. The red one?
The red one? I don't know. Actually,
Raunchy Red, I think it's called.
When I bought it from you, I don't think you even had a name for it yet.
I think it's called Raunchy Red. I got that from Jason. I don't even think he's got it anymore. I don't even have it, put it that way.
I think you guys only had one more of them.
That's why I'm seeing it right now. I'm like, wow, that thing is doing fantastic. I see the Roger Rampage right there from Jason Fox, the mycelium. Looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's been a lot of trial and error figuring out dealing with a mixed reef and with my lighting set up exactly where to put them. But now that we kind of got, after this year, figured it out perfectly, everything's been doing really well and is really happy.
A good old Spacenberry, the Pectinia. You see you got some Aiken Hileas, aka Bauer Bankies there. I see the bleeding apple there. I love the Lophilia. This tone coral, guys, it is so electric. It is neon green. Most people pass on this type of corals. Oh, it's not rainbow enough. And if you only knew, you're missing out by not having that type of coral. If you guys can see that torch in the back, it comes from Australia as well. It is so thick, it's different than all the other ones. You can see how some are nice and thin and they got long tentacles, but that one back there, it is just so different. Also, I see all your aquapores, for the tank being 1 year old, they're starting to take off.
They've been doing really well. They've actually just recently have really started to take off. Like Walt Disney over here.
Yeah, I see it's taking off actually.
It's definitely with a mixed reef. I've been tweaking the lights with the Kessils and the Radions, and I think I've got a nice balance to grow the acros while not frying the corals below them.
Cool. And since you mentioned some of the lighting and stuff, and I see you got Radion Kessil, any reason why you went with that combination?
I like the shimmer, to be honest, and the new Radions are great, but they don't provide the shimmer that I like. Okay. So, with getting a new tank, I got to kind of think it out from the ground up. Yeah. And so I decided to go with some Kessils to mix it in, and then toward the later in the day, I just run the Kessils instead of the Radions.
So that's that.
And it gives a super shimmer look. It's kind of just for my wife and I, because it looks really cool in the tank as the tank's winding down for the day.
Tell me a little bit more about the tank. So now we talked about the lights. Flow, I see you got MP40s. You have a gyro in the back.
Yes, and that's what I've had Yeah, it's definitely been more of a challenge to get the flow the way I want it. We have a lot of torches, and coming on this side we have a bounce mushrooms, so we kind of have to balance it out. So it's definitely a stronger flow tank, but I think the gyre at the end is really what's helped me keep the acropora as well. It gives the flow right over the top of the tank.
Delivering the right flow in a reef tank is gotta be the most challenging thing. It just never goes away. It's one of those things that you're constantly just changing and just manipulating just to deliver the right flow to the coral. So I see the most challenging part is you have fine sand.
Yes.
And you have a mixed reef, and you're trying to keep all of these corals happy at the same time.
I was on the fence of doing a bare bottom or not, just for the flow reasons alone.
And you know, another thing I noticed, how clean and beautiful your sand is. Anything special that you guys do? I know we're maintaining the tank once a week.
I have like 15 caulks. I have a major group of caulks that clean up everything. Okay. And I have some large starfish, and a couple big sea cucumbers. They handle the sand, and we met when he comes here to service my tank, he hardly has to do anything to the sand at all.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the equipment on the bottom? What do you dose?
Well, so the equipment I designed, I wanted it after my first tank, and my stand was so short. The first thing I wanted to do was make sure my stand was tall enough so me and my service guy Matt could fit under the tank without banging our heads. Gotcha. And we designed the filtration to kind of be as simple and easy to maintain as possible. Okay. I just have filter socks and a skimmer, and we run GFO, and that's it for the filtration.
Simple. I like it. You know, I'm always a big believer of keeping it simple. I think it works. I mean, some people like a lot of technology. I'm the opposite. Yeah. And what do you dose?
We just dosed the Brightwell, the A and the B
and
solution.
Magnesium also?
And magnesium, yep.
Okay, and what do you feed?
Well, I feed a combination. I do I do frozen mysis, frozen brine, and roe for every single meal. Okay. I do a few cubes, all frozen, and I do that twice a day. And then the midday, I will put some flakes in there. Where
do you maintain your nitrates and your phosphates at?
My nitrates go from about 10 to 20. Okay. And then my phosphates go up to about 0.1. Okay. I know a lot of people like to keep their tanks with lower nutrients, but I found out that for a mixed reef, it's actually perfect.
I've been preaching that for a very long time.
And it's very stable. So to get it to where most people would want it, it would have to do a substantial amount of water changes, and it's just everything is happy, so I don't see any reason why I need to change it.
If I was you, I wouldn't change much on this tank. Just continue doing what you're doing. I'm really looking forward to coming back in 1 year and showing you guys another episode of this tank, this beautiful 300-gallon tank. Again, congratulations, you're reaching a very nice level. I can't wait to show this to the world, man. We just finished viewing this beautiful 300-gallon tank. Hopefully, we'll see how the product comes out. In the meantime, don't forget to give us a like, leave a comment if you have any questions, give us a follow. We'll see you guys soon.